First board discussion item, BD1, Dr. Robinson. Pardon me? We take non-agenda speakers before board discussion items? Okay. So we have we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 non-agenda speakers who are here tonight. So I'll call you up to the podium 3 at a time. So just be ready. Clinton Gordon, Beth Bohan, and Alana Monath. Please come up to the podiums. Okay. Beverly Becker, Nicole FranciniWolf, Jamie Delbenzio, ma'am, state your name for the record and watch the clock. You have 3 minutes, please.
Sure. Hi, I'm Jamie Delbenzio. Good evening. I'm a concerned parent of children in the Palm Beach County School District. We are currently homeschooling due to serious concerns over the effectiveness and the adverse physiological and psychological effects of the masks. I want the choice to send them back to school without draconian measures in place. Children are not major drivers of transmission of COVID-19. We firmly believe in science, and the science tells me that we are doing more harm than good with these mandates. Please consider all of the reasons for the recent Commissioner of Education's letter to make masks voluntary. Broad sweeping mandatory face covering policies serve no remaining good at this point in our schools. Mandatory face covering policies inhibit peer-to-peer learning in our classrooms, and they may also unintentionally create a barrier for students and families who would otherwise choose in-person instruction if such a policy were not in place. Such policies may also impede instruction in certain cases, especially for students with disabilities and English language learners who benefit from viewing a teacher's face and mouth. Please also consider a growing list of scientific articles that speak to the harms of mask wearing. You are saying you are going to follow CDC guidelines, but please take into account all they've gotten wrong historically, as well as in the last year. They've been wrong about the models, the lockdowns, the distance the particles travel in the air, the transmission of the virus from asymptomatic individuals, the spread of the virus on surfaces, the infection fatality rate, the dangers of the virus to children and young adults, their abilities to protect individuals in long-term care facilities, the way they've counted COVID-19 deaths, how they've classified cases. This list isn't even exhaustive. As school districts are requiring young children to wear face masks for prolonged periods of time, where is the evidence that these face masks are effective? And more importantly, the evidence that these masks do no more harm to children? Where's the scientific research on the safety and effectiveness of healthy children wearing face masks for prolonged periods of time? What are the short-term effects? What are the long-term effects? Are face masks effective at reducing the spread of viral infections? Please return our schools to normal for the sake of an entire generation enduring irreparable harm. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I understand some of those people I called are in the no mask room, so if staff would put up Clinton Gordon and Beth Bohan if they're there. Okay, Alana Monath or Beverly Becker, are you over there?
That's me.
Please come up to the podium, please.
So, here? Hi, my name is Beverly Becker, and I am a wife, mom to 5, grandmother to 3, and a pediatric occupational therapist assistant. I graduated from Palm Beach State in May of '92. My first job was at the University of Miami School, and I've worked in the school districts at Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, St. Lucie, Manatee, and Okeechobee counties. I've worked at the trauma unit at Longwood Regional and 4 years in the NICU. I believe that I qualify. I also have a 13-inch scar that you would never know about from a very invasive surgery. I cannot wear a mask. And I recall vividly from 1972, the mask that the nurses and doctors were wearing before they put me under. I am qualified as a medical professional, but also I have a medical situation that makes it especially difficult and physically bad for me to use a mask. The evidence is solid but varied. Masks do not work and cause both psychological and physiological effects and health consequences. I have a long list of papers and studies, one as recent as April of 2021. The infection rate for COVID-19 is somewhere between 0.07 and 0.20% as compared with seasonal flu at 0.4% and smallpox at 30%. The risk of dying is nearly 0% for children. Riding in a car or a bus on the way to school is statistically more dangerous to our kids. The National Safety Council of America states that the odds of dying in a major vehicle crash are 1 in 114, yet and if you throw in statistics for teens riding together, the possibility, or should I say probability, of texting and driving, the chances of them dying go up significantly. Teens are 10 times more likely to be in a fatal accident than adults. Motor vehicle crashes are the #1 cause of death among teenagers, but yet we let them drive to school, and the money is even made on parking decals from the high schools. So I don't understand, what are we doing about that? But we are taking COVID, which has a nearly 0% chance of affecting our children in a fatality, and we are freaking out, basically. I have so many more facts and nonsensical nonsense to point out, but my time is limited to 3 minutes, and I want to leave you with one question to ponder. Why are we doing this to our children? Why? Give them back their childhood and stop this nonsense.
All right, I'm going to call the names over there again. Clinton Gordon and Beth Bohan. Is the staff monitoring the time over there for 3 minutes? Is there a clock over there that they're watching?
Yes, sir.
If not, Mark, would you set the clock over here so I can tell them when their time is up, please? Who's coming up there next? If you're there to speak, just come up to the podium and say your name, please. Okay?
Beth Bohan.
Go ahead, state your name, ma'am.
Beth Bohan, is it on?
Go ahead.
I have a petition of almost 5,000 signatures of your constituents that I would like to turn in, of parents requesting that the mask mandate be optional for parents' choice. We're not asking you to remove if people want to wear a mask, wear a mask. So I'd like to leave that for your perusal and have it entered as evidence. Our children are being raised in fear. Fear of each other, fear of the world, fear of illnesses, viruses, and even the air they breathe. They're being taught to fear everything. Prolonged fear is terror, and terror becomes trauma. The psychological damage being done is irreversible. It's a genetic expectation and neurological necessity for our children to see facial expressions, read lips, mimic language. Denying kids this is a form of torture that this board does not fully grasp. We as parents do. The clinical fallout is already happening. The idea that healthy children are endangering others simply by breathing is the biggest scam in the history of the world. Your chances of being killed by a cow are low, but never zero. Will we lock down and have mask mandates until we can stop all cow-related deaths? Certainly not. The obedient always think of themselves as virtuous rather than cowardly. A great many people will one day regret how much of their lives they wasted in fear and seclusion because they blindly followed politicians who neither believed their own warnings nor heeded their mandates. Don't be one of those people. You see the non-mask wearers as disease-spreading and defiant, when in reality we are fighting for the last remnants of your freedoms you don't know you're losing. Wearing a mask, protect oneself from a virus is this generation's hide under your desk to protect yourself from nuclear radiation. Pure political and security theater. You feel you must do something to make it look like you're doing something. We are defending your rights and liberties as much as our own. Our legacy will be defending the Constitution. Yours will be ignorance, apathy, and cowardice. You are not worth our efforts, but your rights are. If your freedoms and sovereignty do not outweigh the minuscule possibility of you or others from contracting this virus, or the even more minuscule possibility of you or others dying, then yes, you are sheep, a perfect tool of tyrannical government, an unfit American, period. Never forget, the Nazis had a phrase, and excuse my German, für ewig Sicherheit, It's for your safety.
Thank you. One last time, I'm going to call these people that are on the list that are supposedly here. Clinton Gordon, are you here? Alana Monath. Nicole FranciniWolf. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We the people petition for redress of grievances in the form of notice of lawlessness with harmful intent, instruction to cease and desist, and notice of liability. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. This is for immediate press release. Comes now in peace, love, honor, and with clean hands, one people of we the people on Palm Beach County in sui juris to address a serious grievance which has arisen between us and our public servants, Palm Beach County School Board, as follows. Whereas Florida Statute 2.01 confirms Florida is a common law state, and whereas all elected public servants occupying a public office must by law and statutes have 5 oaths swearing to support and defend both the supreme law of the land, the Constitution for the United States of America, and the Constitution of the state of Florida. And whereas, as stated in Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution of the state of Florida, all political power is inherent in the people, and whereas our founders created a Republican form of government to the exclusion of all others, that is in Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution for the United States of America. And whereas Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution of the state of Florida states basic rights, all natural persons, female and male alike, are equal before the law and have inalienable rights, among which are the right to enjoy and defend life and liberty, to pursue happiness, to be rewarded for industry, and to acquire possesses and property, protect property. And whereas until our children reach the age of maturity, they remain in the eyes of the common law our property. And whereas the Palm Beach County School Board has no delegated authority from we the people to dictate, mandate, nor in any manner require our children to wear masks of any type at any time. And whereas experts on masks have delivered solid, scientifically sound studies resulting in facts of the damages caused by wearing masks, which include but are not limited to increased probability of lung cancer due to cancer causing agents used in the manufacturing of most common masks, mental impairment, and skin and lung infections. And whereas all members of the Palm Beach County School Board, by implementing this unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional mask policy, are committing many serious crimes, including but not limited to breach of their oath of office, deprivation of rights, and contempt of Constitution. And they are hereby noticed that they are operating in their private capacity due to breach of oath of office, and that they therefore are fully liable in their private capacity for any damages caused by their policies.
Ms. Wolf, your time is up. Please wrap it up.
Oh, it says I had 11 seconds left.
I'm sorry?
Well, this is going to you guys in public record, so I'll be handing this to the clerk.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Angelique Contreras, are you there? Danielle Thunderhawk, are you there? Charmaine Postal, I think you're still here. Yes, I see you.
And I have my mask on, too. Whew. Charmaine Postal, parent. I think there's mic still.
Cut the microphone in the other room, please. Go ahead, Ms. Postal.
Thank you. So Charmaine Postal, as a parent, first I would like to share how there you have a school district police officer in that room with them without a mask on. I understand that everyone has their right, but we still have mandates and we do still have policy in this district. So I hope that staff can share that that person should have he's in uniform and he should have a mask on. In my opinion, but I could be wrong. I hope he don't come in this room while he's in there without a mask in there with them. So Couple of things. Last month at the board members were so shocked, as I would say, or shocked and appalled about regarding the disproportionality of Black students in arrests in Baker Act. Here we are, a month later. I'm a stakeholder. We are partners in education, and we have not heard anything regarding the updates of the Baker Act, what we're doing, any workshops. We have talked about equity nonstop. Equity, we have talked about the strategic plan. We have had so many conversations, but one thing, how can we talk about equity when we have disproportionality of Black students being Baker Act and arrested in the school district of Palm Beach County? How are we comfortable in talking about equity? I don't understand it. A month later and there is nothing, no comment. We have social media posts. We have had 2 press releases publicly, and yet the school district have not even, at minimum, sent out a statement. But I'm gonna leave it at that, but I promise you I won't let up on Baker acting, school suspensions, and any other factors here at the school district. I'll go right on to my 1 minute and use it, and use my 1 minute as a member of the Coalition of Black Student Achievement, and also agree with the previous speaker that I strongly oppose any merger or takeovers of the Palm Beach Sheriff Office in this district. The potential negative impacts of school policing on our Black students demands the district direct partnership with and control of the direction of our school police. That responsibility cannot be outsourced to PBSO. We have problem here in-house that we need to fix. So we certainly can't bring nobody else in to help us fix these problems. I really, really hope y'all get it together, Palm Beach County, because we can't be talking about equity if equity and inclusivity don't even reside in this district.
Thank you, board members. At this point, we have 2 hours of, there's another one over there? Who's over there that wants to speak in the other room? Please come up to the podium. Staff, put them up on the screen, please.
Don't start them.
State your name for the record, please.
My name is Angelique Hernandez. I am a constituent of yours, and I actually pulled my child out of the public school system because I do not agree with these mandatory face mask wearing for our children 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. Tell me why from your seat there, you're allowed to take off your mask, but the kids in our schools are not allowed to take off their mask while they're sitting down. We are sick of the hypocrisy in Palm Beach County. And ma'am who came on the podium before me, I'm sorry, last I checked, we do not live in Nazi Germany. We do not tell on our neighbors. We do not hurt our neighbors. And at the end of the day, it is not right for you to tell other people what to do with their body, because last time I checked, it is our body and it is our choice what we do with it. Thank you very much. So I will continue to say this. If other countries are able to have their children in school during the highest amount of cases in their country, and their children are still alive and thriving today, tell me why you feel as if you want to have the power and control over our children. Last I checked, I carried my child for 9 months. I birthed my child. I raised my child. I get to decide what to do with my child. You do not have that right. You do not have that right to mandate masks on my kids. You do not have that right to mandate tests on my kids. You do not have the right to mandate any vaccine on any of our children. And at the end of the day, if you're vaccinated, you're protected. So we need to end this political theater. Last I checked, we are educating our children because they are the youth and the generation that are going to take America forward. And you are treating them as if they are third-party citizens, that they do not mean anything to you. 99.98% recovery rate for children. We need to end the circus. We need to end the mask in schools. We need to allow parents to choose for themselves. If you want to wear a mask and you want your children to wear a mask, you have that every right. But you do not have the right to decide for our families. Enough is enough. Trust science, because guess what? There is data out there that prove masks are not working to slow the spread of COVID, and they're actually causing more harm to our children and their development in life. That is all I have to say.
Who's next over there? Come up to the podium and say your name, please. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Hi there. My name is Nicole FranciniWolf. I'm a resident of Palm Beach County, 21 years, and I'm going to talk to you about children in masks as well. Clearly, our children are political pawns in the school district. To have a mask mandate extending this long for a virus that has a 99% recovery rate. When do we forget that we can't spread something we don't have? The fact that you ask children to stay home for online learning for inability to wear a mask is discrimination. This term asymptomatic is just another ploy to discriminate against healthy people and healthy children. The covering of a child's face, preventing oxygen to the brain, is child abuse. Psychological, long-term effects yet to be known. But signs and symptoms are currently presenting with my own 9-year-old child, who is in public school in 4th grade. When I have to say, please, honey, take off the mask in the car, and he replies, but Mom, I don't want to get COVID. I cringe at the reasoning and fear being instilled in my beautiful, healthy child. And I'm going to repeat what someone else had said earlier. Our children are now being raised in fear. Fear of each other, fear of illnesses, viruses, and even the air that they breathe. They are being taught to fear everything. Prolonged fear is terror, and terror becomes trauma. The psychological damage being done is irreversible. I leave the burden of proof on you to prove that masks as a medical device work to prevent COVID. And just so you know, you as a school board have no delegated authority to mandate masks, medical procedures, or even a curriculum without the consent of the people. And through this fear program, you have created a hostile environment. Any clear-thinking individual with concerns for the one-size-does-not-fit-all logic is ostracized and alienated. What happened to inclusion? Educators, please use facts over fear. A quick reminder to this board and to all the principals. The Florida Department of Education has already told you masks are ineffective and they should not be mandated. Enough is enough.
Pardon me? Staff, is there anybody else over there that's on our list? If not, please turn off the microphone and the camera on that side.
There is one more person.
Okay, we have someone coming over here.
Keep coming to the side of the boardroom with your mask on.
Okay.
I think it's administrative.
Okay. Psychologically, wearing a face mask fundamentally has negative effects on the wearer, the near and nearby person.
State your name for the record, please.
Danielle Thunderhawk.
Thank you.
I don't know if you can you hear me okay?
Yep, go ahead.
I'm going to take this off and I'm going to say, this is what you're doing. You take away a child's ability to breathe. You take away their ability to ask for help. You have failed our children. Masking children is child abuse. Let my voice be the voice for the millions of children who have been silenced since March of 2020. Unmask our children.
I believe that's all the people in this building want to speak to us at this point. And I've been advised by the General Counsel that we must go until 7:30 with the recorded messages. So at that point, at 7:30, we'll stop, and if the board wants to entertain a motion to discontinue listening to them, we can do it at that time. Staff, would you start running the 2 hours of recorded messages now, please?
Good evening, team players and school board members, superintendent, and all the people that are in Palm Beach County that are interested in the well-being of education for our children. My name is Brother Carl Mohammed. I'm a non-agenda speaker from West Palm Beach. And I wanted to start my conversation today because I know that we're in a very critical area right now dealing with equity and dealing with our strategic plan. And I want us to, well, at least I wanted to remind us of the Undoing Racism class that we all attended here in Palm Beach County. And we can, I wanted to remind us to take a look back at that activity because it showed us that the gatekeepers were many times the people that were impeding the progress for the people that were inside the bubble and for the people that wanted to help from the outside. But it was always the gatekeeper that was standing there that was not allowing the resources to come in or the thinking to come out. And as we move into equity, I'm hoping that we will consider the gatekeeper in our thinking because that person, those people, have really stopped everybody from advancing in the way that we all are desirous of going. And we've been wrangling with this kind of idea here in Palm Beach County for so long. And I do say that when we think about it, the blind leading the blind, both of them fall in the ditch. And we've been having some miseducated black leadership making an attempt to assist in equity. And I really want to thank those of you who are on the school board. I want to thank you, Mr. Barbereri. I want to thank Ms. Whitfield. I want to thank Ms. Brill. I want to thank you, everybody that's on the board. And, of course, y'all know I have to thank our big sister, Ms. Marsha Andrews, for really allowing us the opportunity to have this kind of conversation now and to be included in the idea of equity inside of Palm Beach County. I really do. I mean, our community really do appreciate the idea, and we're looking forward to whatever we can do in order to assist the school district of Palm Beach County to pay attention to some of the things that are destroying our particular part of the community. And I'm praying sincerely that everybody's still safe and everybody's still taking care of themselves and their families, and we can continue to be Palm Beach County, the best county out of the 67 counties that are located in the state of Florida. And I do believe that we are exemplary, not only as a school district, but as a community. And we in the ADOS community, we are very much interested in highlighting what it is that we have. Thank you so very much for the opportunity to say something to you. Looking forward to the relationship. Thank you.
Ezekiel Edmonds III, Black Educators Caucus. Non-agenda item. First, I'd like to, we'd like to extend a sincere appreciation for the genuine efforts of including the ADOS community into the conversation for the new strategic plan. Also, we'd like to apologize because it's been brought to our attention that you all are still dealing with some of the lingering gatekeeper antics that are intending to kind of impede the progress of our community's collaboration efforts by trivializing the importance of funding solution-driven innovation and efforts coming from the ADOS community. Some of our most active leaders have been in the fight for obtaining equity of access for decades. So validation is not our concern. We're ready for action. We're ready to do the work. So it's great that most of you all have committed to resisting this type of chicanery. We can only imagine how perplexing it must be to process the egregious nature of such knavery being perpetuated by the very leadership posing as the champions for all community concerns. So, we want to just let you know because, we know you all have realized this for quite a while, although you have kind of had to deal and cope with it in silence. That's kind of why we kind of feel it's important for us to share with you that you kind of uncover, what our best minds have known for centuries. And that's, the author, the great Zora Neale Hurston, captured it best in her famous statement, and that is all our skin folk ain't our kinfolk. There are some people who gain leadership positions for their own glorification and attempt to control who gets access to the resources. And these people may have duped the masses, but we're not fooled by their aggressive gatekeeping bully tactics. You know, we're the ADOS community, and we're excited about participating in equity-based collaborations. You know, also we're looking forward to participating in the positive outcomes of the equitable infusion of our culturally relevant strategic content items for and from the ADOS community, including in the structuring of the new strategic plan for the Palm Beach County Schools. So on behalf of the ADOS community, we thank you for your time, and we appreciate your efforts. And, you know, we're looking forward to a great collaboration for this next new school strategic plan. Peace and progress.
Yes, hello. This is Dr. Gonzalez-Quinino, infectious disease, calling regarding the COVID policy for the April 21st meeting. I want to continue to let people know that we still have a persistent elevated positivity rate for COVID in Palm Beach County. We still have a high level of COVID variants in Palm Beach County, and so we have to continue keeping clean, keeping covered, keeping clear with social distancing, continue getting testing, and continue getting vaccinated. It's no let up in our efforts to do so, because we remain a county with increased vulnerability to COVID. We have an increased disproportionate amount of COVID infections in our underserved communities and populations. And so we urge that the school district continue all COVID mitigation practices as much as possible. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Amanda Kopaz, and I am commenting. I don't believe it has an item number, but regarding the masks in schools. Only recently, I'm a mom, only recently did we decide to send my daughter back to school. She's very excited to return to school. And we made that decision in part based on her teacher and her principal, both, you know, communicating all the safety measures in place and making us feel more at ease about sending her back in person, because we do have a vulnerable individual in our household. And one of those conditions was that students were, you know, masked outside of, you know, eating and that sort of thing. The idea of them, you know, not being masked and, you know, letting go of the safety protocols that have been effective is making me now, you know, question whether it is safe for her to return to school. She very much wants to be back in person, and we very much want her to be back in person. So I'm hoping that the school board prioritizes the safety of our kids rather than, you know, the push that we're kind of seeing at the state level to let go of the safety standards that are in place for a reason. So please, 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 I'm asking you to continue with the masking. Her teacher even assured me that the kids, you know, it does really cause a lot of stress. They've adapted to wearing masks, and I know my daughter has as well. She doesn't have any issues when we, you know, do go places, you know, wearing a mask. You know, kids are very adaptable, more so than adults. So I hope that the adults that are anti-mask don't, you know, sway us away from the safety of the kids and of the families of the kids that they, come home to. So thank you for consideration, and I hope we continue making safety a priority. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm calling regarding the mask mandate. I believe that we should continue to wear masks and social distancing, just because it should be a safe environment for everyone, and masks are the way to do that. We don't know enough now to lift mask wearing. My name is Laurel Dalton, and I am the Executive Director for T. Roy Jefferson Medical Society. It is paramount that we continue to make sure that everyone is wearing masks, is social distancing, is doing everything they can to protect themselves. We just don't know at this time that it is safe, and I just do not think that we're at a point where we can make a decision like that, and I think people's lives are at stake, and this is critical. Thank you.
Agenda item 19. Hi, my name is Karen Bischoff. I'm a resident of Boca Raton, and I have a 12-year-old son who will be entering 7th grade at Boca Middle School next year. Back in March 2020, I was a firefighter paramedic, and I came down with COVID. I have been unable to work for a year. I've developed other health conditions triggered from COVID-19 that I will now have for the rest of my life. I was not a hospitalized patient. I am what's known as a long hauler, and during my infection, I had mild to moderate symptoms. COVID has completely ruined my life and is drastically affecting my son's life, as I am stuck in bed 85% of the time from the illnesses that I have gotten. None of these are lung damage or heart damage that people typically think of. There are things like postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, autoimmune disease, small fiber neuropathy, fibromyalgia, and more, just in myself. To expose children to this is unacceptable. Masks work. Double masking works. My son has been virtual 100% this year, and while I know this is not the case for every student, my son has been able to maintain straight A's in his first year of middle school while doing everything 100% virtual. I'm very upset that next year there won't be virtual school or a virtual option other than through Florida Virtual School or Palm Beach Virtual, where there is no live instruction. I am too ill myself to be able to help him with school and teach him the way those programs require, yet I do not want him going to school, having to sit next to other kids who may not wear a mask and whose family don't believe in masking, avoiding large crowds, or getting vaccinated. It is unfair to force our children to return to school and then force us to have to expose them to people who do not take this virus seriously. I am the founder of the COVID-19 Long Hauler Advocacy Project. I sit in on NIH, CDC, and WHO meetings as a patient advocate. I am also the founder of the Florida COVID-19 Long Haulers page. You can find us on Facebook if you are a long hauler and like to join. But I would like to add that so far in our group alone, just here in Florida, we have over 800 parents who joined on behalf of their children who have become long haulers, who are unable to attend school because of their illness, who are being threatened about being held back because of their illness, who are unable to play with their neighborhood friends or play school sports because of their illness. And these children are likely going to be forced to lose their childhood and their health because of contracting COVID-19.
Good afternoon, school board members and Superintendent Fenoy. My name is Emily Daloff, and I am a mother of twin girls enrolled in Marsh Point Elementary School. I'm calling about the mask mandates that potentially could be lifted for the start of the 21-22 school year. I'm hoping that this does not happen. However, I wrote a letter to Education Commissioner Corcoran, and I'd like to read it to you now. Mr. Corcoran, your request to Florida school districts to make mask wearing in schools voluntary is both reckless and irresponsible, especially in the face of rising COVID cases in our state and without a safe and effective vaccine available for all K through 12 students. I agree with the majority of teachers and parents whose consensus is that distance learners are in desperate need of a return to in-person learning. My immunocompromised twin girls, both who have not been inside of a school building since last March, are included in this group. I plan to send them back to school in August. However, if the mask mandate is lifted without a safe, effective vaccine available before the beginning of the school year, I will be forced to rethink this decision. Even though virtual options will be available, both of them take away my daughter's ability to continue to connect with their school community. Not to mention that another year of virtual learning will further impact their ability to successfully access the general education curriculum. This request will most certainly empower those who do not think that COVID is a deadly virus and those who insist that mitigation measures are not necessary to end this pandemic during a time when over the last 2 weeks, COVID cases have been reported to be upwards of 2,000 in most heavily populated urban areas. Making masks voluntary will also most definitely single out the non-maskers from those who are medically compromised and have to wear a mask to protect themselves from illness. This could also lead to bullying of the kids who don't have to wear masks towards the kids who do. And these students who really don't want to wear masks in the first place but are abiding by it so that they don't get sick may succumb to peer pressure in order to avoid these bullies. All it takes is one direct contact between an asymptomatic student with COVID who's not wearing a mask and who's not vaccinated and an immunocompromised student for the more vulnerable one to become sickened and die. Many cannot afford private school where these measures are taken very seriously and strictly enforced. Mr. Corcoran, this request for school districts to make masks voluntary without the necessary data or the support of the majority of the medical community puts parents like me in the position of having to make decisions that could result in the death of my children. Either require masks in schools or let school boards make their own decisions. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Negri, and I am calling to comment on a non-agenda item. I am the parent of an incoming kindergartner in the district. She is currently at a very large private preschool. She does not have to wear a mask. She does not have to social distance. She goes to gymnastics without a mask. She goes to dance without a mask. Other kids are doing baseball, football, soccer, taekwondo, all without masks. We have increased vaccination. Teachers are vaccinated. Parents are getting vaccinated. Grandparents are getting vaccinated. The CDC says my kid can see her grandparents who have been vaccinated, give them a hug, and they are our highest risk population. All of these other activities that kids are doing without a mask are not increasing the number of cases in comparison to those activities where kids are required to wear a mask. My daughter can sit in a restaurant without a mask, but yet she has to sit at a desk for 7 hours, stifled behind a mask. This is absolutely insane. All we are asking is that this be optional. We understand some parents want and feel their kids will be safer with a mask. That's fine. Let them send their kids to school with a mask. I do not, and many other parents do not, and we want that choice. How many times are you having a conversation with somebody and all you're saying is what? Because you can't understand them behind the mask. So they pull their mask down to tell you what they're saying. Kids and teachers need to see the other's faces in order to learn properly, especially for these little kids. They need to be able to learn. They need to be able to learn how to speak properly, how to hear properly, and they need it for their mental health. They need to be able to see the emotions of the person that they're talking to, and that goes both ways. So all we are asking is that you give parents a choice on whether or not they want their kid to be sitting in a classroom for 7 hours behind a mask. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Krista Zweig, Z-W-E-I-G, and I am calling about a non-agenda item topic. I think that we should keep masks in schools. I think that at the beginning of the pandemic, it was actually really worrisome that schools would be spreader areas, and but schools have done a really great job not just with the social distancing, but with the schools and with the masks. And they've shown that schools, there's studies that show that schools are not areas where COVID is spread. So they've been doing a great job. They even showed they don't even have to be 6 feet apart. They could be 3 feet apart, but as long as they wear masks and still do social distancing. So I think we should continue to keep that in our schools and so as to keep all the children and their parents and loved ones safe. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Catherine Saxton Thompson. I am a parent in the Palm Beach County School District, and I would like to ask that masks be mandatory going into the 2021-2022 school year. That is my only comment. I feel very strongly about this. Please keep masks mandatory for all going into the 2021-2022 school year. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Debbie Peterson. I live in Jupiter, Florida, and I'm calling on a non-agenda item. I just wanted to leave a message to say that I strongly oppose ending masks inside the school. I'd like to keep masks, as I've just recently sent my son back. A little worried about that, but seeing a lot of petitions going around and hoping that the school board will keep the mask mandate in policy. Thank you, and have a great day.
Hi, my name is Cindy LaCourse Bloom, and I would like to speak on a non-agenda item. I know that there's people that are asking for the mask mandate in schools to go away. I'm asking for the opposite. I'm watching the Board of County Commission meeting right now, and our health metrics are up in a bad way in all the categories in regards to COVID. So now is not the time to ease restrictions and put our children at risk. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hi, my name is Robin Nolan, and I would like to speak to a non-agenda item topic. My concern is the recent push to take away masks in schools, which I think would be a horrible mistake on Palm Beach County School Board. I urge you to keep masks in schools. I'm a mother of 2, soon to be 3 students in Palm Beach County schools, and our principal does a fantastic job of containing the virus because teachers are very vigilant about students wearing masks in schools. We don't have too much longer of this, but we have to do it as long as we need to in order to rid ourselves of COVID-19 and rid our communities. For the safety of all our students and parents and members of Palm Beach County community, please, please keep masks in schools. It is too soon to take them away in the fall. Please vote to keep the masks in schools. Once again, my name is Robin Nolan. I'm a member of the community. I'm a lawyer, and most importantly, I'm a very concerned parent, and I want to make sure that all kids in our county, in our country, in the world are safe. And the best way to do this right now is to keep masks in schools. Thank you for your time.
Hi, this is in regards to a non-agenda topic, and my name is Kristen Gamble. I would really urge the board to follow CDC recommendations and to continue having students and staff members wear a mask for the next 2021-2022 school year until the CDC says that it is safe for students and staff members to be in school without a mask. Thank you. Have a great day.
I'm a resident of Palm Beach County. My name is Maxine Gelfand. I'm speaking on agenda item BD1. To ensure the safety of students, teachers, and staff, masks should continue to be mandated next school year for all who step on Palm Beach County school campuses. Since all students will be required to attend class in person in the fall, social distancing will not be possible, and masks will be even more essential to keep COVID from spreading in schools and in our community at large. Thank you very much for your attention to this matter, and I hope you will vote to make sure that masks are mandated next year.
Hello, my name is Andrea Wild, and I'm a Palm Beach County resident, and I would like to ask if the mask mandate for students would stop, as there are adequate COVID vaccines and a very good chance of survival of getting, once you get this disease, almost like the flu. I won't leave my phone number, but again, my zip code is 33467, and I'm Palm Beach County resident. Thank you, and have a great day.
Anastasia DeLeon on the mask mandate agenda item. I have been a teacher since 1997. I decided to take a leave because of this mandate. There is much evidence that the masks are not effective and cause damage. It has been emailed to the commissioners, the governor, and the school board many times. It seems the local leaders only listen to the science that aligns with their agenda. What I see is the masks offer a false sense of security. There are licenses for people to bully others, and I'm not standing for that in my classroom. Society has been divided in a way that is harmful because of these mandates, and I do not want any part of that. The masks cause psychological damage, especially to children. I'm seeing children scared to remove the mask because they think they're going to die. This is not true. If that masks are a virtue signal of the highest order, strapping them on a kid for the entire day is abuse. And if that word abuse offends you, then maybe it should. It is abuse. I will not abuse a kid in my classroom. I'm not going to enforce any of these mandates that are not laws, by the way. The rest of Florida can operate, so can we. 35 minutes north of me, the masks have come off in the school. So what is the problem here? Is there some magical wall of COVID that surrounds Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach? No, enough. Anybody that supports this is a child abuser. I will not teach in any public school until this is stopped. I take a stand for all children that are being forced smuggled against their will. I have not stopped being a teacher either. Homeschool community is full of freedom-loving, non-abusive people in need of good teachers, so that's where you can find me and all the other veteran teachers that refuse to abuse children. Take a look at what you're doing and stop this madness now.
Hi, my name is Lori Kuntz, and I am speaking on agenda item BD1. BD1. To ensure the safety of students, teachers, and staff, masks should continue to be mandated next school year for all who step on Palm Beach County school campuses. Since all students will be required to attend class in person, in the fall, social distancing will not be possible, and masks will even be more essential to keep COVID from spreading in schools and in our community at large. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Liz Sant. I am calling regarding the mask mandate. I think that masks should be made optional in public schools for the rest of this year. And for next year, please follow the recommendations from the commissioner that masks be made optional. I do not believe that children should be required to wear masks all day, starting from pre-K all the way through senior year.
Hello, my name is Mary Barbara Alexander. I live in Wellington in Palm Beach County. I am commenting on agenda item BD1 about the mandate of wearing masks in the next school year. I implore you to continue to wear masks until the population is all vaccinated and that herd immunity has been attained. It would be foolish at this point, after all we've gone through, to not be patient a little while longer until we can guarantee that we won't be spreading this terrible virus among our friends and family and our children. So please keep the mask mandate in effect for a little while longer. We just need to hang on a little while longer. Thank you.
Hello, this is Dr. Joan, Joan Waitkevitz, Waitkevitz. I'm a resident of West Palm Beach and a physician, and I'm calling regarding agenda item BD1 to ask the school board to continue to mandate masks in the Palm Beach County schools. I would like the school board to refer to the article in the Palm Beach Post, April 10th, Post reporters hellish month with COVID-19, ads we don't want. This was written by a Palm Beach Post reporter who was exposed and was extremely ill with COVID-19 and disabled for many weeks because his wife is an exceptional student educator in the public schools and was exposed by a student. That's not to say that the student wouldn't wear a mask, but special ed teachers are particularly at risk because the behavior of the students cannot be controlled. Please allow the teachers and their families to continue to be protected. It is not fair to the children who might also become critically ill in rare instances, but the adults that are exposed to these children. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye.
Hi, my name is Elise Strathdee. I'm speaking on agenda item BD1. I'm calling because I would like to see masks remain in place in Palm Beach County schools for the following school year. To ensure the safety of our students, teachers, and staff, they should be continued as a mandate next school year for anyone that steps on Palm Beach County school campuses. Since all students will be required to attend class in person in the fall, social distancing will not be possible, and masks will be even more essential to keep COVID from spreading in schools and in our community at large. I know firsthand from last year, prior to the holiday break, my children were both exposed to strep throat, and before they were even done with the antibiotics, they had the flu. Masks work. My children have not been sick at all this school year, and I will continue to place my child in a mask to go to school, but it should be for all schools, children, and teachers to remain wearing masks next year. Thank you.
Hi, this is Alyssa Friedman. I am speaking on agenda item B like boy, D like David, and the number 1. I can't believe that I have to leave this message. However, I do think that it is important that we, with all the COVID variants that are out there right now and known that it's affecting younger and younger kids, I think that to ensure the safety of our students, teachers, and staff, we should continue to be following the mask mandate, especially for next year, for all who step on Palm Beach County school campuses. As we know, not everyone is consenting to be vaccinated, so that will continue to spread in this area until the number is reached, until the number is high enough that we have herd immunity. Since all students will be required to attend class in person in the fall, social distancing will not be possible in these classrooms, and masks will be even more essential to keep COVID from spreading in schools and in our community at large. Thank you so much for your time.
Good afternoon, Palm Beach County District School Board. My name is Marisa Shennan, and I'm a mother of a 6-year-old first grader at Jupiter Elementary and a 4-year-old BPK student. I'm calling on a non-agenda topic regarding the mask mandate for the 2021-22 school year. While many families chose to go the route of private school or homeschool for this past school year to avoid the mask mandate, we chose to remain a team player with the public school system in hopes that it would be eventually optional. We knew that pulling our children from the public school system would negatively impact the district financially, and we truly love our elementary school, so we gave it the benefit of the doubt. Unfortunately, if the mask mandate is extended from the 2021 to 2022 school year, we have decided to fully homeschool our 2 children until the masks become optional. We did also decide to retain our 6-year-old in first grade again and move to a different school because of the we need to close the learning gaps for what was missed in the last year and a half. My first grader has been negatively impacted in the mandatory mask mandate both academically, psychologically, and emotionally. A typically bubbly, sweet-spirited 6-year-old has lost his light for learning in the past few months He's not able to interact with his peers or teachers, and his basic maturity and academics have not progressed in the way that they should have. We've been enrolled in the dual language program for 2 years, which is fantastic, but he's severely behind in science, as that particular subject is 100% taught in Spanish, and through the math, it is muffled and it is hard for him to hear and understand. I believe that because he spends the majority of his day at his desk distance alone and unable to participate in group activities, that this is harming his love for school. Pre-pandemic, he would come home beaming with the new friends he made, and this year I don't think I could tell you a new friend that he's made by name. Every morning is a battle to go to school, and it is heartbreaking because he's only 6, and I know it's not because he doesn't want to learn, but because he just doesn't enjoy it anymore because he can't interact with his friends. He unknowingly chews on his mask as a new anxiety habit, which is not only just a distraction for him, but his mask comes home soaking wet with saliva, which is truly disgusting and 100% unsanitary for these young children to be masked all day for 7 hours. Meanwhile, my 4-year-old has been in a private preschool with no mask on any children and mainly face shields or a mask for the teachers should they choose. They share stations, play on the playground together, they eat lunch together, and they have had 0 cases, and all the children are thriving. By the beginning of next school year, the majority of teachers who choose to be vaccinated will be, and those who choose not to know the inherent risk. At this point, or know not to be spreading the virus, to choose a mask or not a mask. Thank you for your time. Please consider giving the parents back the right to decide what's best for our children's health. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Julie Damsker. I am calling in for public comment because my multiple emails to the school board have gone unanswered. I just want to say that I'm extremely disappointed in the school board's decision to ignore both the commissioner and the governor's recommendation to make masks optional for next year. And I want to share that Palm Beach County schools have become a prison. Some of the examples of what my 8-year-old, my 7-year-old, and 5-year-old tell me when they come home from school is absolutely disturbing. They are saying things like, I miss our old school, like when we were allowed to smile and laugh and make friends. Everyone just looks mad at me all the time. Another thing they say is, we're not allowed to do anything fun at recess or even at school anymore. We just walk around outside, and my masks get all sweaty and wet, and it's hot. Another thing is at lunch, we're not allowed to sit or talk with our friends. Everyone has to sit far away, and we have to whisper. Another is all of the adults in school are always mad and yelling. If I can't hear my teacher, I'll ask her to say it again, and she'll say it louder and louder and louder until she's yelling, and it hurts my head. Sometimes I'm too scared to even ask, so I just sit there and I pretend like I heard what she said. And here's the worst. Sometimes I need an air break. I'm not allowed to take my nose out of my mask or I'll get kicked out of school. The principal told us that on day 1. An air break? So this is my biggest problem, an air break. The school is now determining how much air my child is allowed to breathe on campus. This is absolutely disgusting. It's appalling. I don't know how we could carry on this way. And I'm asking you as a school board to step up and do what you were elected to do. Serve our community. We are not one size fits all. Masks don't work for everyone. It is not helping everyone. So please follow the commissioner, follow the governor, and make masks optional in 2021-22. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matthew Busili. I'm calling in regards to a non-agenda topic, which is the mask mandate in Palm Beach County School District. I have 4 children, 3 of which are currently in the Palm Beach County schools in our school district. I feel that the mask mandate is unfair. I agree with the Florida Department of Education Commissioner that mask mandates should be removed, and every child and family should have the option to wear a mask in school if they so feel like it. I notice in my own children that the 8-hour-a-day, 5-day-a-week facial covering requirement is not healthy for them and is causing them childhood developmental issues as well. Please take the advice of our Florida Department of Education Commissioner and make masks optional.
Board members, I asked the IT department to stop the recordings. It's approximately 7:30. At this point, the board can, by a 2/3 majority, decide that we won't listen to any more of them after we take the board discussion items tonight. There's approximately 1 hour left of recorded messages. There are a total of 45 more messages that are sitting there. So if someone wants to make a motion to that effect, if we get 5 board members to agree, we will, in which case we will attach the rest of those recorded messages to the agenda, and they will be available for the board members to listen to as well as the public. Does anyone want to make a motion to that effect? Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, seconded by Dr. Robinson. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. So the General Counsel, my understanding is that we won't listen to the rest of the recorded messages this evening, but they will be posted and attached to the agenda. Correct. Okay, at this time then we'll go back to the agenda for the